Uh, Hello students. In the last class we explained about functions, and today we will go to another area in pre-calculus, that is limits. So today we will explain how to what is the concept of limit and how to solve a limit of a function. Okay. So let us start the concept of limits. Okay. So what are limits? So here the limit of a function is defined as observing the tendency of a function f of x when x approaches to a particular value from left and right. So what is a limit? See, we are observing the tendency of a function f of x when x approaches to a particular value from left and right. For example, your function is f of x is equal to x square. F of x is equal to x square. So you are substituting different values for x. For example, when x is equal to 0, f of x is equal to 0. When x is equal to 1, f of x is equal to 1. When x is equal to 2, f of x is equal to 4. When x is equal to 3, f of x is equal to 9. This is the function. But in limit, the x value approaches to is not exactly a particular value. It approaches, it is very closer to a particular value, either from left or from right. For example, x tends to 3. So mathematically it is said that x tends to 3. That means x is approaching towards 3. It is not exactly 3. It is approaching 3 either from the right side or from the left side. Then what is the tendency of the function? So when x reaches towards 3 or when x approaches towards the value, a particular value, what is the tendency of the function? And that is what is known as a limit of a function. So what is limit of a function? Observing the tendency of a function when x approaches to a particular value from left and right. For example, 3 is your value, x value is approaching towards 3. So the value may be 2.9999 or it may be 3.0001. So one is from the left side and another one is from the right side. So when x approaches to 3, what is the value of it? For example, you are taking income and consumption. So when the income is 10,000, what is the consumption? Okay, so you are observing the tendency of a function when the x approaches to a particular value from left to right. So mathematically, this limit is expressed as this is the way we are expressing the limit mathematically. Limit of f of x when x tends to a. Limit of f of x or a function of x when x tends to a is equal to a function of a or not. So let us explain this concept with the help of an example. So as I said earlier, consumption is expressed as a function of income and it is defined as x minus 1. When the income is x, then the consumption is equal to x minus 1. For example, if I have 10 rupee in my hand, I will spend 9 rupees for consumption. So that is the very simple meaning of that. So this is the function. For example, if the income is rupee 1, consumption 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. If it is 2, it is equal to what? If it is 3, 3 minus 1 2. If it is 20, 20 minus 1 90. So this is a linear function. You can represent this the same with the help of a graph. This function can be represented through a graph. So this is the graphical presentation of this consumption function. Here in x-axis you are taking the income variable, in the y-axis you are taking the consumption. So as you know, when income is 1, consumption is 0, income is 2, consumption is 1, income is 3, consumption is 2, income is 5, consumption is 4, income is 10, consumption is 9, income is 20, consumption is 90. So you can join these points with a straight line because it is a linear function. Why it is a linear function? The power of this variable is 1. So it will be a straight line. It's a linear function. So here you can explain the same with the help of limits. For example, we are taking a value here x tends to 5. When x tends to 5, this is written as like this, x tends to 5. When x tends to 5, what is the limit of this function? So when x approaches towards 5, either from this side, this is left side and this is from right side. For example, this is 4.9999. Here this is equal to 5.0001. So when x approaches to 5, what is the value of the function? So when x approaches to 5, y approaches to 4, or the function approaches to 4. That is the expression of this mathematical expression of limits. So the limit of this function f of x when x tends to 5 is equal to 4. When the income approaches towards 5, the consumption approaches towards 4. So this is what is known as a limit. So limit, what is the definition of limit? Observing the tendency of a function when x approaches to a particular value from left and right. Okay. So now, how to solve problems in limits? How to solve problems in limits? So 4 methods are there. First one is direct substitution method, second factoring method, rationalization method, and solving equation limits using standard norms. So let us explain one by one. So direct substitution method is very simple. If your function is very simple function, like x square plus 3x, limit of this function x square plus 3x when x tends to 3, x is approaching towards the value 3, what is the value of this function? So in this case there is no complexity, so you just substitute the value of 3 here. In the place of x, you will have to substitute the value of x. So here it is equal to 3 square plus 3 into 3. 3 square is equal to 9. 3 into 3 is equal to 9. So the function is equal to 8. So this is a very simple problem. If this type of questions are there, you just do substitution. Substitute the value of x in the function, directly you can get the answer. So the value is determinable. But this problem becomes difficult when the function becomes indeterminate when substituted, when you substitute the value. For example, when a mathematical problem becomes indeterminate when the denominator is 0. So if you have a function with expressed as a fractional value 1 over another, p over q, and if q is equal to 0, you cannot define it. If q is equal to 0, q is the denominator. If q is equal to 0, you cannot determine it because any value divided by 0 is undefined or ill-defined or indeterminate. So in such cases, what we will have to do? So there you can apply first method, factoring method. So take a function like this. So what is the function? X square plus 5x minus 14 divided by x minus 2 is the function when x tends to 2. So when you substitute the value 2 here, see the denominator will become 0. You cannot determine the value of this limit of this function. So in this case, direct substitution is not practicable, or you cannot determine the functional value. So in this case, you just apply factoring method. So here you will have to factorize the numerator. Just factorize the numerator. So x square plus 5x minus 14 is the numerator. So this is equal to x square plus 5x plus minus 14. So you will have to split the middle term. Factoring, you have already learned in quadratic equations. You split the middle term middle term. How to split the middle term? Find two values whose product is equal to minus 14 and sum is equal to 5. So find two values whose product is equal to minus 14 and sum is equal to 5. So you can easily identify the values as 7 and minus 2. So 7 plus minus 2 is equal to plus 5. 7 into minus 2 is equal to minus 14. So you can factorize the numerator as x plus 7 into x minus 2. So that is x plus 7 into x minus 2 divided by x minus 2. This x minus 2 and this x minus 2 get cancelled. Then the limit will become limit x plus 7. So here, after this simplification through factoring, you just take the limits. In taking limits, you substitute the value of x here. So x is equal to 2. So 2 plus 7 is equal to 9. This method is called the factoring method. This is also simple. Another method is rationalization method. Rationalization method is applied when the limit is expressed as a radical. Radical is a square root function. So here take an example, limit square root of 1 plus x minus square root of 1 minus x divided by x when x tends to 0. Here also when you x tends to 0. So when you substitute directly the value of x in the denominator, it will become 0. So the function is indeterminate. But at the same time you are not able to factorize the square root function. So here you apply rationalization method. What is rationalization method? So you take the radical function. What is the radical function here? Square root of 1 plus x minus square root of 1 minus x. So you just change the sign in between the terms. So now you have a minus sign. Square root of 1 plus x minus square root of 1 minus x. Change that minus sign into plus sign and multiply both numerator and denominator by that value. So in order to rationalize, what you are doing is that you take the radical function and change the sign between terms, sign in between the terms. So if it is minus, you just change it into plus. If it is plus, you change it into minus and multiply both numerator and denominator by this value. So that is, we are multiplying the numerator and denominator of the limit of this function by square root of 1 plus x plus square root of 1 minus x. So the limit will become square root of 1 plus x minus square root of 1 minus x into square root of 1 plus x plus square root of 1 plus 1 minus x divided by x divided by, multiply the denominator also, square root of 1 plus x plus square root of 1 minus x, where x tends to 0. And when you look into the numerator, you can see that this numerator is in the form of a plus b into a minus b. So you are taking this term a, b, a, b. So this is a plus b, this is equal to a minus b. So as per the algebraic identity, you know that a plus b into a minus b is equal to a square minus b square. So you can rewritten it as 1 plus x the whole square minus 1 minus x the whole square, a square minus b square. So 1 plus x the whole square minus 1 minus x the whole square. You are keeping the denominator as such. 1 plus root of 1 plus x the whole square is equal to 1 plus x. Root of 1 minus x the whole square is equal to 1 minus x divided by the numerator. Then removing these brackets, 1 plus x minus 1 plus x. 1 plus x minus 1, then minus into minus plus x. So this 1 and this 1 will get cancelled. This is plus 1 and this is minus 1. This will get cancelled. Then you will get 2x. 2x in the numerator and the denominator is taken as such. Then you can cancel this x from the numerator and the denominator. And the function will become 2 divided by square root of 1 plus x plus square root of 1 minus x, where x tends to 0. At this point, you can substitute the value of x as 0. You substitute the value of x as 0, the denominator will not become 0. So when you substitute the value of x as 0, this will become square root of 1 plus 0, square root of 1, this is square root of 1 minus 0, square root of 1, square root of 1 is equal to 1, square root of 1 is equal to 1, so 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, so 2 divided by 2 is equal to 1. So this method is called a rationalization method. So if your question is in the form of a radical or a square root function, apply this method, the rationalization method. So it's very clear. Then another type of problem is that you can convert the same into a standard norm or a theorem. So this is the theorem of limit. It's a basic theorem. If the limit is expressed in this format, limit x raised to n minus a raised to n divided by x minus a, where x tends to a, then easily we can find out the value by this formula n a raised to n minus 1. So first of all, first you will have to convert your function in this format. If it is convertible in this format, you can easily find out the value of the limit using n a raised to n minus 1. So for example, 27x cube plus 8 divided by 27x plus 8, where x tends to minus 2 by 3, x tends to a minus 1, so it's a fractional value. It seems to be difficult. So here you can convert this limit function into this standard function. So for converting the same, first of all you need to remove this 27 because this will become x cube. So you are dividing the numerator and the denominator by 27. Dividing numerator and denominator by 27, what will happen? This 27 x cube by 27, then this 27 and 27 will cancel, plus 8 by 27. So 27 x cube by 27 is equal to x cube plus 8 divided by 27 divided by 27x by 27 will become 27 cancelled, then we will get x plus 18 by 27. X tends to 2 by 3. So now this fractional value should be converted into minus 2 by 3 format. So 8 by 27 can be expressed as 2 by 3 the whole cube. 8 by 27 can be expressed as 2 by 3 the whole cube, because 2 cube is equal to 8, 3 cube is equal to 27. So this is also equal to 8 by 27. So 8 by 27 can be rewritten as 2 by 3, and 18 by 27 can be reduced as 2 by 3. 9 into 2, 9 into 3. So 9 into 2, 18, 9 into 3. So that is equal to 2 by 3. So substitute these values here. So then the function will become x cube minus. So here actually it is plus. So but our a value is minus. So you will have to use minus here. Then the value is minus. Function the a value is minus into minus 2 by 3 the whole cube. When you remove the bracket, it will become plus. Then likely in the denominator also x minus 2 by 3. So now this limit is in the form of this standard norms. X raised to n minus a raised to n divided by x minus a. So n is equal to 3, a is equal to minus 2 by 3. Then apply the formula n a raised to n minus 1. So 3 is n is equal to 3, a is equal to minus 2 by 3, n minus 1, 3 minus 1, 3 minus 1 is equal to 2. So 3 into 4 by 9, that is equal to 4 by 3. So these are the 3 problems for your homework. First one is, very simple, it's a radical. Use rationalization. Next one is just like a quadratic function. Both are, numerator and denominator are expressed as a quadratic function. So you just use factoring method. Here this is also in the form of a radical. Use rationalization method. Okay, thank you.